So I want to kind of bring it back and let our viewers know about what we're doing here today and why we're doing it. This is actually the second time we're doing it. And like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, we are also in Denver, Colorado. And we first did this a couple of months back, did another topic. And this time we're talking about how to stand out in a noisy social media world. However, the last time we talked a lot about being a female in social media, and we got some comments back, some of us, about why are we wearing these tiaras? And it was almost as if it was, I'm going to just say it, like dumbing us down or not as professional. And we kind of wanted to address that a little bit because it is so obvious we are wearing tiaras and why we're doing this and why the tiaras. And then we're going to go into the noisy social media world. So who wants to start on that?
I'll start.
Okay.
So it was something that came up in the conversation, and it was, we were all like, well, we don't have to wear the tiaras, and that's fine. Like, if it's not appropriate or people don't want to wear it, then we won't wear it. But literally, as the conversation kept going, we were all like, but no! Like, we are literally 8 divas in a mansion! We're gonna wear the tiaras, and we're gonna be okay with it.
Uh-huh.
And that was kind of what fueled the whole direction of the conversation, where this is part of our brand. This is not that the 8 of us go walk around in tiaras at the grocery store, but it is one of those things that, this is part of our brand. This is part of who we are, and we're completely comfortable with that. And we have embraced that in all of our each and individual brands. We're unique and we stand out in our own way, and that was what led to this conversation. So we're talking about the hashtag Find Your Tiara, not because we expect you to go put on a tiara per se, but
if you do a selfie and hashtag it Find Your Tiara, because we would love to see it and we will feature you.
Yeah, so literally we were questioning it, but I think the point we're going to get across today is that who would we be helping you stand out when we're uncomfortable trying to mute ourselves to please a few versus, standing out and really owning, because we were comfortable in it and it was who we are, like Jenn said, and it was something that was us, and we don't feel like you have to filter yourself in order to appease everyone. It's what does make you stand out and what feels comfortable to you, and that's, a good part of the conversation we're going to have today.
Yeah. So I want to move into how we all individually do it and kind of discuss it. So shall we start with Kelly or should we start with Julie?
We'll start down with Kelly.
We'll start with Kelly. Okay. Kelly, how do you find your tiara in your own business brands?
So I think that something that's really helped me this year is focusing on one thing. I think a lot of us struggle with this as squirrel syndrome. I get excited about a lot of things. I want a podcast. I want to talk about chatbots. I want to talk about, Facebook ads. I want to talk about, I know a lot of things. I've been doing this for 12 years, so I want to, do everything. Yeah. And I actually was coached professionally this year by Andrew and Pete. If you don't know them, I'm their biggest fan. And one of the things that I know both the guys really pressed hard on me is like, Kelly, I know you want to do all these things and you're good at all these things, but if you want to make chatbots your thing, then that is what you're going to do, and pick one platform to make it the best at that. And so I really was like, I'm going all in on YouTube this year. I'm going to really focus in on my 80s Baby Got Bot brand. And that was all I did. And it was hard. I wanted to do so many other things. And I kept hearing Pete, and he did in the message, he would always be messaging me. And he's like, no, Kelly, don't do that right now. Mm-hmm. And I think just really focusing in and staying really, really, really true to that. And that's really my key takeaway from, if you were looking for a tangible, is to pick the thing that you want to do and make that a long-term thing until you're so good at it and your brand is so strong, then you can kind of explore stretching out in other places. And that doesn't mean I don't nourish like a Facebook group or my email list or whatever, but my YouTube channel has been my biggest focus. And because of that, I have grown organically my YouTube channel from 90 people in April to over 1,000.
That's incredible. That's amazing. Yeah, where can people check out your YouTube
Baby
channel?
Got Bot. So it's Stellar247 on YouTube, youtube.com/Stellar247. And you will definitely get a sense for how I'm standing out and owning my tiara, because it is 80s all the way. And I'm the only person on YouTube doing chatbot tutorials in the style of the 80s. So.
I love that. I think that's one of those things that even for me, like everyone knows me for Instagram. But when I work with my clients, I help them on all the social media platforms. Like I'm not just working with clients only on Instagram, but that was where I built my industry expectation. And it was, I started blogging about it, then I started speaking on it, and I continue to be brought in as an Instagram expert, whether it's writing or videos or whatever it is. But that was what allowed me to stand out. I wasn't just another generalist in the space doing what everyone else was doing. That was my unique thing, and that allowed me that platform.
And I'm the queen of generalists. Like I'm seriously, for years I was I'd had a course on Facebook Live. I've done courses on email marketing. I had a Facebook Live challenge I did 3 times a year. My audience knows, right? You guys know that I can help you with anything. But this year, because I was so focused, I found so much more success this year in my branding and what I'm trying to do, because I was like, no, we're eye on the prize.
So I think what that does is it helps people understand chatbots, Kelly Noble Mirabella.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of, do you do this too? Because it gets so convoluted. And so it by you focusing, your message has been so strong. And so, Jenn, the Instagram queen, let's face it, right?
Yeah, she wrote the book.
And writing another one, you guys. Writing another book, Jenn. So, Jenn, how do you stand out in a noisy social media world?
So, for me, my one thing is that I've always had an opinion. Shocking, I know. If you don't know me, you're going to know me. From early on, when I started my blog 6 years ago, I had an opinion. And I wasn't just regurgitating random information or what everyone else was saying. I was like, I don't like this because. Or I really like this because. And to this day, I have gone up against some of the biggest names in the social media industry when they say, oh, it's the apocalypse, oh, it's the end of this, oh, this is the best thing ever. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. And here's why I don't think so. I don't just have an opinion, I back it up with data and facts and experiences and my perspective. And that allowed me to stand out really early on, because people started inviting me back in the day on the Google Plus, Hangouts, to come on and share my opinion on things, which put me in front of a huge audience that I would have never otherwise had, because I chose to have a very strong opinion, not to be rude or offensive or degrading to anybody else, but to have my own voice in that capacity.
Yeah. And I think you could do that in any industry, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Any industry.
And Kayla just gave you a shout out, Jenn. She said that you're awesome and your tips on Instagram are so helpful.
I love you, Kayla.
Don't forget to keep telling us how you stand out in the social media world too. We're going to be monitoring that as well.
And I want to say a quick thing, Kelly. A lot of people are blown away from your YouTube, and so Tim had a question: what strategies have you used to increase your YouTube following?
So YouTube is a really tough cookie, and that's why I always get nervous when everyone's like, Facebook is dead for video. Let's just all move to YouTube. And I'm like, it's not that easy. It's really a lot of work. So you're going to have to dedicate a lot of time. I dedicate hours a week, to quality video editing. I use literally
She lives on Camtasia.
I live on Camtasia. Every video that has touched my YouTube channel has been through Camtasia. So, quality editing, taking the time, but also I think it's really important that you think of your end user and not just yourself. So I actually get the ideas for my videos by going into the many chat group or whatever, and I will take questions that are coming up over and over again, and I'll just go answer them. And I'm also really known for creating really easy to follow tutorials, and a lot of that does come out to editing. I've watched so many videos that are my competitions videos or whatever that are not edited, and they're really long, and they could be so much better with just a little editing. So consistency and quality editing, I think, are the two top ones for me, and having a hell of a lot of fun.
And so Mark said you're amazing, and that he's watched all your videos, and he loves the content. So yes.
And Pam Curry says your videos are amazing as well, and they really are, because what Kelly's done, again, double downing not just on the chatbot thing. It's also the fact that you make it fun, because a lot of this tech stuff, it's like we all turn off, right? So you've been able to really make it amazing that way. So let's keep this ball rolling. I want to find out how my girl Jenn Poole here stands out in a noisy social media world.
One thing that has always mattered to me so much, throughout life, through any experience like this that you go through, is being genuine, building relationships, creating an experience out of something, and being responsive. Just like any other normal relationship that you're going to be in, human to human. The cool thing is about social media is that this ties us all together. Check this out. Everyone's all over the freaking map right now. Literally. And this is something that I just get such a high from, is being able to interact with you no matter where you are.
Yeah.
And it's something that I've loved in Wichita, demonstrating how to do this for your brand with all of our clients, and setting an example as Depict Media with our collab corner show on Wednesday that we do at the Hex Code Girls, or our Friday show, which is our local hug to Wichita community leaders, and just highlighting these people and raising them up and making people aware of the experience that they can provide to the community, to the Wichita area, or to wherever we are. Right now we're in Denver, and we did our Friday show here, and all of our freaking people from Wichita tuned in, and it was an experience, whether it's digital or it's physical, but making it an experience and making it an inclusive thing is something that's just so powerful to me, and I love being able to help people learn how to do that for their brand and for themselves. So it's just amazing.
I think to that point, bringing people in, kind of like what we're doing with this show, like putting those comments up, giving those shout outs. Like, and I think all of us are really good about that whenever we do live, giving shout outs when people come in late and saying hi when people, say hi and answering their questions live. Like that's something that allows you to actually be part of the conversation, not just, I'm just talking to the camera and I'm going to ramble away and just spew my things.
Being respectful of people's time.
Exactly.
Yeah. And they come and hang out with you all night. They don't have to do that.
I think it's cool because you take that relationship, that hug that you can keep calling it. I love that, the hugs. And it's so easy for people to do, yet they don't. So when your company stands out and does that, it's like, oh my gosh. In true reality, you just decide to do it.
Yeah.
And anybody can do it.
Anyone can do
that, but nobody does it.
Push the damn button.
I think the best thing that happens here is that these friendships form, and I think that you get to see that, and that's why we wanted to go live. Like, we couldn't all get together without sharing it with all of you, because we want to bring the world together. We want to impact. We want everyone to feel like they can find their own tiara and they have a voice. And we're all so drastically different, with different personalities, different industries. So we're definitely excited to be here. Thanks for watching. So Jessika, that brings me to you.
Well, and I love the relationship comment, because relationship marketing is my jam. But I feel like to stand out, you first need to know, I love Seth Godin's book, Tribes. Like, who are you trying to lead, and who are you trying to stand out for, right? So everybody calls himself a leader, but really, who's following you, right? So you have to stand out, and the thing, and we've heard a couple stories of, like, your passion and what you stand for and who you're known for. So, and then taking action upon it. So really taking action upon that thing that you do want to lead and stand out for and be known for that thing, whatever it is for you. But taking action, and then being kind and following up with people. One of my favorite examples of this, besides just the building relationships and taking action, is collaborating with others. So once you find your tribe, your people that you are trying to lead, find others that align with you for that message, that really you can bring them in and all share your expertise together and say, hey, I'm trying to lead on relationship marketing, so I know that these people here practice it, so I want to include them because my tribe that I'm trying to lead also could value from their perspective, right? But then above and beyond that, giving, back to the people that are following you and that you are leading, and really truly building deeper relationships with them and letting them know that you're here to add value to them and getting back what they need from you. So really going back to, how am I trying to stand out? What am I trying to lead? And how can I do this in the most genuine way so when they meet me in person, they're going to say, you're exactly who I thought you were, and how I know that's my person that I've met online is the same person I'm going to connect with in person, and it makes it real, brings it 360, and then they want to share it on, and then you have more ways of standing out and owning your tiara or whatever it is.
You're from Boston, it's a tiara.
Yeah.
Tiara.
Whatever you're thinking, whatever you're thinking. And not being afraid to stand out in that way, because your people get you, and you don't need to have it any other way.
We have a comment from Annalisa, and you can probably comment on this first, Jessika, and then we can all kind of go in. So she's still trying to find her way to stand out. She's just started a blog, would like to start a YouTube channel, but she's having she's a bit of a perfectionist and is struggling when she compares herself to others. So maybe we should go to you, Julie.
Okay, because that's perfect. Because mine is all about the imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Because we all have it from time to time, no matter how long we've been in the business, where we're at in our journey. And I think that's the big thing is, we are all at different stages. So not comparing yourself to others. I love chatbots and I want to be able to provide those to my community. I would love to be at Kelly's level of chatbots and teaching that. I'm not yet, but I can't get down on myself and look at myself and go, but I'm not there, because I'm not. She's been doing it longer. So I'm going to be working on that journey and working on that path and building that up. And we will never be at the same place because we're different people, we're different humans. So the first thing you can do is stop comparing yourself to anyone else.
And that's hard to do.
It is. It's so hard. I struggle with it all the time. But it's one of those where you kind of have to step back and go, no, because I can do this differently. I can do this in my own way. And I don't need to be Kelly with chatbots, and I don't need to be Amanda with ads, and I don't need to be Jessika where she's at in her agency, because I'm none of those people. I'm Julie, and I've got to build my own path and my own direction, and it's taking it just one step at a time. It's you want to build YouTube, so then really focus and hone in on that. Start watching other people who you admire. Don't compare yourself to them. Use them as a teacher, though, to teach you how to get better. Follow what they're doing great. Find people that also aren't doing it great.
That's true.
And see what they're doing wrong so you can improve upon and not make those same mistakes.
Awesome, Julie. I love that. Kelly.
Yeah, I just had a comment about that. Well, I think that everything is spot on. I mean, we all do that. Don't compare yourself to others. But there's enough space for everyone. Like, we could literally all be chatbot experts.
Yeah.
But it's you that is different. And that's what the Find Your Own Tiara is. It's you that's different. And, you know, with this idea, I feel like I have so far to go. You're just at the beginning. Like, just in my chatbot journey, I've been building chatbots for 2.5 years. So, and before I even started my YouTube channel, I went through everything y'all are going through. You know, I had all these things. So, you know, you have to find out what sets your soul on fire and what sets you apart. And even if you want to do the same overall topic as someone else, just do you. Do it your way, your twist. And going back to what Jessica was saying is, like, your tribe will get you. They will. They're like, oh, that's my people. You know, right?
And on that point, I've got an awesome example of that. So we were coming home from dinner last night, and this gal just got the most amazing testimony from George Demanis. And he was saying that, like, you know, he had taken other courses before, and that he was so impressed with the way that Amanda ran her Facebook ad course and how she was in there and what she was doing. It was all about Amanda's touch on her product that you're not going to get from Kelly or me or Jen or anybody else here. It's about Amanda. They come to Amanda for Amanda.
Yeah.
So that does go back to the whole Find Your Own Tiara. And I just want to say one thing. Don't compare yourself only to yourself.
Yes.
Compare yourself. The one thing that I learned from having a 12-ounce baby and not being able to have milestones is you have to say, are we better this month than we were last month? This year than last year? That's the only thing that I want you to measure your success against.
And know that collaboration is so okay. That's what this was.
That's what all of this is right now.
Yeah, and that's something. So Jen and I back in Wichita preach over and over and over. In fact, we have a show that we partnered with another agency called Collab Corner, and the whole point of that was the collaboration over competition, and that we have other agencies, we have other social media experts, and we meet and share ideas and share our thoughts all the time. And one of the things we always get in Wichita is, well, but they're your competition. And I'm like, no, they're not, because there is so much business in Wichita. There is no possible way that Jen and I could handle all of the business in Wichita. We need other people. I would be drowning. We love everyone, but we would be drowning. So we need other people, and we will get somebody that will call us and say, hey, we want to do this. And we're like, hey, we can't do this right now, but we've got somebody. So we're going to give you her information. Go call her.
We want to know how you find your tiara. What makes you stand out? Tell us, because we are going to feature you. We want to know, and we want to collab with you virtually this way. So go ahead and in the comments, let us know how you find your tiara. We want to know how you stand out in a noisy social media world. I know in my industry, in the pet industry, you know, everyone's always like, everyone's a dog walker, everyone's a pet sitter. How do I say I'm different? I love the pets. It's true in every single one of our industries. And so what do you do to stand out? Jennifer Watson.
Oh my God. Hi, guys.
You're amazing.
Oh my God. So I think everyone's amazing.
That's Jenn's tiara. Everyone.
Yes, hashtag.
I do. Well, I don't know. I try to find the positive light in everything, I guess. I don't know.
You
But
sure
so I work for a big brand, a big weather brand. I'm actually a meteorologist and a social media specialist. So I'm kind of got like a weird niche a little bit. But my thing is humanizing our brand. You've got this big brand and you're just like, what do they stand for? Like, do they even care about me? The biggest thing that I love is live video because it allows you, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're like a brand with thousands of people, I like it because it allows the people that work at my brand to just talk to people directly. When I do live video, I don't like it when, you actually are talking to people, but talking with. Live video is one of my favorite things in the world because you get to know people. You get to like what we're doing right now. And one of the things about live video, just like how we were switching the cameras and stuff like that, do that. Everything's raw. I've done so many live videos. So live video is my thing because it allows you to be relatable. It builds trust, whether you're a brand, working where there's thousands of people working there, or just for yourself. And it's so fun too because you can get their input, what they like, what they don't like. For me, the biggest thing is just humanizing yourself and the brand and building that trust. And also something that Brian Fanzo talks about is like relatability. It makes you more relatable. And something that I've kind of struggled with is transparency. Everything's great and awesome, like a lot of positive stuff on social, but we all go through different things, hard times, and we learn. And I was recently very transparent and vulnerable on just a personal post, and I was just amazed at the support I got and everything else, and I was just like, wow, like this is so powerful. There's just so many things. Humanizing yourself, being vulnerable, and just, we're all on different journeys. And I struggle too because I'm like, these amazing women work for themselves and I work for a company. I'm just in awe of what they do, but I can't compare myself to them. So my big thing is, what I love to stand out is live video. So
Christiane was saying something like she's not sure what her standout is, her tiara, and I think maybe we should address that because I think some viewers might be like, well, what do you mean? I don't know, it makes me different, which is totally understandable because it's kind of like a journey. It's almost like as if when you're a kid and you're like a preteen and you're kind of awkward and you're like growing into yourself, right?
Yeah.
So I would say my tip, and maybe you guys have a tip for this too, I would say ask your friends. Say, what do you know me for? How do you see me?
Yeah.
When we were getting ready today, I go, I wish I could see myself like my queenies see me, And that also ties into the big theme and why we get together, why we all get babysitters, get our husbands take vacation, fly across the country, fly to different countries, to come together because we need that support. That sometimes is what helps you find your tiara. Does anyone else have a thought on that?
Go ahead. I was going to say, so, and I think a good example is I actually have a client of mine who she does paper flowers. And they're these beautifully intricate, amazing, beautiful floral bouquets, but they're paper flowers. And when you see her feed and when you think of who she is, you would think she's like a Stepford wife. But she's really this like totally tatted out, like pit bull rescue mom. Like she's this badass chick, but you don't get that when you first see your content. And her and I have talked about this a few times where I'm like, embrace it. And she's like, well, I don't want to scare anybody away. And I'm like, no, like that's part of who she is. Like she rescues pit bulls and she's got tattoos and she's a mom and she's all these components.
Yeah.
You have to embrace what you are. For me,
You're more than your product.
Exactly. It's really finding that, like you said, asking a friend, asking somebody to help you figure out, but look at who you are, like what makes you happy, what's that passion point, and tie that into your brand. Your tribe will follow that.
And there's a way they're searching for her specifically because that's the thing that makes her have a tiara. Like she stands out. Right? So like Bella said, asking your friends is great, like what you're known for, but also what you get jazzed up, excited talking about, and find yourself like it doesn't feel like work because you get really into it. But asking your friends, usually they can tell those things about you too, because sometimes we overthink things like, what do people want me to stand out right now? But just staying true to it, growing yourself, like we said, through the awkward teenage stage and eventually 20s stage. And
then you go through it again.
So we've got a lot of people that are amazing and brilliant and do like incredible things and keep just shining that light of yourself and you because you're the only person that you are. I'm a huge weather geek.
She got excited that there was a tornado section of the Denver airport.
I did get excited, but just, I mean, there's only one you on this earth, so just own it.
Yeah.
You know, you have
Absolutely.
to own who you are and yourself and what you love. I remember growing up, I would just go with the flow and stuff when I was like high school because I'm just like, oh, I want to like what everybody else likes. But now I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm going to be like who I am.
I want to address what Rose just said.
Yeah.
She said she's an Italian. She struggles being on camera because she talks with her hands.
Me too.
So here's the thing, Rose. Don't
You're
be
more
afraid.
believable
Again,
that way.
make that part of who you are. I've had people comment on my feeds like, your hands are everywhere. And I'm like, yep. And it's
they
who I
can.
am. Own it and take it and talk with your hands.
Yeah.
There's a
I-
TikTok actually on that says that
I'm
when
gonna
people
sneak
watch
over there.
videos
Hold
with
on.
the sound
Hold
off,
on.
that when people
I'm
watch
gonna
the
do
videos
something.
with the sound off and talk with their hands, that people rated if they're how likable
Yeah.
and believable they were, and the people that talked with their hands to emphasize things were more likable and believable.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to
You
share
can
that
trust
TikTok
someone.
link in here. I'll find your comment. But own it. It's good.
I love that the example that you used because I think part of that finding your tiara is it's unexpected.
Yeah.
You don't expect the flowery step like girl. You want her to be Stepford Wife. You don't expect her to be that, which by sharing that would actually bring the non-Stepford wives to her brand. You know.
Exactly.
Kelly, do you have?
I just wanted to say, if any of this is touching you, if any of this is making you inspired, just please share this out and let other people have that message, because I think it's a really important message. And then also, when you choose to be authentically yourself, it's when you start, especially, it's going to be scary, and people are not going to like it. And
Yeah,
you need
I
to
have
get
something
right
to say
with
about
that.
that.
But as soon as you get over that, so many magical doors will open for you because the right people are coming and noticing. Instead of everyone kind of like, oh, okay, she's there. Then let the right people are like, focused. Yes. So people are gonna like that you talk with your hands. People are gonna like that I have a giant tattoo that my entire back, and people might not like that my kid jumps into my Facebook Live sometimes. But you know what? Oh well.
Well, I'm just going to give a shout out to Allie. Allie was like, maybe one of you guys can help me figure out what my tomboy tiara is. It doesn't have to be a tiara.
That's right.
It could be anything. It could be a cowboy hat. It doesn't have to be like, you know, I mean, it doesn't matter.
And to follow up what Kelly said is you're never
adorable.
going to please 100% of the people 100% of the
You're just not gonna do
time.
it.
So don't fret over that and don't stress
And
over that.
that's the one thing that I always say is if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody.
Yep.
Amen.
You have to have that clear audience that
That's
you're
good.
talking to. Use your voice. Own who you are as that personality.
Yep.
And I tell people all the time, I've never had a client I don't like. Because
Yeah.
I'm very clear about who I am. So when they come hire me, they know what they're going to get. They know the personality. They know the kind of instruction they're going to get and how I work as a person. So they come to me happy to work with me, and we don't have that arguments back and forth of like, well, I thought you were going to do this, and I thought this was going to happen. So you can't try to appease every single person. Own who you are. Like the talking hands, I'm literally sitting here talking my hands. I always talk my hands. I always say, I talk fast, you listen slow. That's your problem, not mine. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Well, here's what I want to say because I kind of feel like I'm going to regurgitate a lot of what everyone else has said, but it's just such a great segue there. You all know that I'm a strong personality.
You're like fire.
And anyone who is watching now who knows me in real life or in our Facebook groups or in my mastermind, you all know I'm also a strong personality. And you know, that's something that I'm going to be real frank that I constantly struggle with. Do I need to always be, doing that sandwich thing? Something nice, something harsh, something nice. Or is it, and I question myself all the time. Like, I have so many Facebook groups that are going off, and sometimes I'm very just curt and short and straight to the point, and I get, Bella, you're a But I also, the people that love me, they binge on Bella and they watch all my podcasts. And it's and it's really hard, you guys, because you get this internal struggle as you're finding your tiara and what makes you stand out. Yeah. And you're trying to say, well, I gotta be nice to everybody, or I gotta be nice to everyone, but I need everyone to perceive me as nice. Mm-hmm. And when I read the stuff that has been said about me, but they don't know the true me. And I think that also happens here with, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I found my tiara with this group. Thanks, lady. Do more of these often, okay? But I think even so, on a personal note, you know, we had a little bit of a rumble last night, and it was a Brene Brown rumble. But that's what happens when you love each other. You get that tough love, and you have to really look through that to say, you know what, I have to personally say, this is coming from my heart. This is who I am. I will back down if you're like, that was too much or that offended me. Okay, I'm sorry. But that's who I am.
Yeah, you shouldn't dim
and
your
some
light.
people like it, and some people don't like it. And what I've also had to realize is sometimes when I am giving consulting and giving cold hard truth, sometimes it's not even about me. It's about that person, you know?
Yeah.
But that's a scary thing because I'm always checking myself and I'm like, was I too harsh? Was that too mean? Was that too... And then I get that reaffirmation where people say, no, Bella, that's why we come to you.
Because that's why we come to you. That's
what
the end of the
need.
day.
And they know that I'll also cry with them. And I'll celebrate with them.
If you want
Yes,
gentle
that's
love,
awesome.
you don't go to Bella. If you want love getting done, you go to Bella.
So Amanda, last but not least, we're saving the best for last. How do you stand out in a noisy social media world?
How do I stand out? It's by being, I guess you can really say, like, authentically me.
Yes.
In the sense that if you've been following my journey on social, I really wear my emotions and my life on my proverbial sleeve, which aka is my Facebook page. So I live my life very, very openly online, the good, the bad, the ugly, the tears, which is basically how we all ended up coming together because I blasted out all the challenges that I was having and everybody just kind of came together.
Thank you for
and-
living authentically online. Because if you didn't, this wouldn't have happened.
Well, it helps people to open up too, like me.
But what I'm finding by doing that, by sharing myself out openly when it comes to all the stuff that I geek out, so I recently rebranded, okay? If we're talking about standing out, I recently rebranded my entire business to the Digital Gal because I didn't want to get typecast into just Facebook ads or just chatbots or just live streaming. I really am I geek out on this stuff. I geek out on everything. So between the things that light me up and make me passionate and make me geek out, and the things that are driving my life decisions to be a digital nomad right now, to live out of my car, to travel the United States with my dog, to have hard choices that may not be everybody else's cup of tea or their lifestyle, you know? Yeah, so I'm choosing to do things a little bit differently, but I'm choosing to do it because it's what makes sense to me. By just being myself, what it's doing, by being myself and sharing it in a very uncomfortable space that most people just aren't comfortable sharing it with, it has attracted in what I need in the universe at this point in my life. It's attracted good people into me, and it's connecting me with the people that I need in my life right now. And so I'm kind of blending personal and business. I really am the digital gal. That is me. It just makes more sense, and by me living myself online and outwardly and authentically, it's bringing people into my world that I'm benefiting from as a human, not just as a business. And that seems to be my main motivation. So when it comes to standing out, rebranding myself to the digital gal, embracing it, embracing all of my flaws, living the flaws and the tears out online publicly, and just going where the wind takes me to some amazing places, to meet some amazing people, and have experiences that I never would have thought. That what's really made it clear to me is that when I started my journey down this road that I'm on right now, I had no idea that by me authentically sharing how I really feel about things, I had no idea that that was going to inspire some other people. I've had so many different messages of people sending me a message saying, you know what, because of you, I quit my job. I wasn't happy, and you're inspiring me to do what makes me happy. Or because of you, I am now going to take that vacation that I never had the time for. Or I'm going to, there are so many people that have been sending me messages that is what I'm calling an unintended consequence. It's an unintended consequence, but it's an unintended benefit of me taking these risks and being extremely vulnerable in a very public space. So that's my version of standing out, is by me actually just finally not trying to be anybody else but me. And it has completely made my life do a full 180, good, bad, and the ugly. But I wouldn't be sitting here right now with these ladies if I didn't do that.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the vulnerability that goes into that, and if you were scared to do it, or if you intended to be so authentic and share so much, or was it more that social media helped you feel like supported and like why, you know, like Why did it work for you, and why was it scary?
I'm going to give you an answer that's not this fancy, glossy, happy.
Good. We want the real dirt.
Be authentic.
So the real dirt is that I work online. So I sit by myself. I'm by myself all day. I work online. I don't have this. Because I'm really ridiculous. I don't have friends. I mean, I have some friends that we rarely get together, and it just nobody seems to make time anymore to get together. Right. And so I've let a lot of friendships slide, and that's my own fault. But over time, what I found is I just don't have very strong friendships at all because I live too much in this online space. Yeah. And when my life went through a crisis, I had some unfortunate events happen, and I needed people. So I needed to reach out for help, and reaching out in the online space was the only network that I had. And I've spent years building up this network by networking, having in real life experiences, conferences, all of these experiences. And I hit that point where I needed help. I needed help from my network. So I reached out, and that was sort of this beginning point of this cascade of just living completely vulnerably online and embracing it and owning it. And it's not pretty. It's not always fun. And sometimes I do regret what I post online.
And that's okay. You live and you learn.
Or sometimes I post something very raw online, and then I get so much feedback that it's almost like, oh gosh, I didn't mean to draw attention. I wasn't looking for that outpouring of everybody giving so much advice. But I understand that when I put something out there that hits a nerve, it's not necessarily about them trying to help me. It's them connecting with that experience and sharing it. And so some of the connections that I've had with people, because I've said something that I probably shouldn't have said online.
I think we've all done that.
Can I just say something to that?
Yeah.
But I think that's how the genuine, real relationships are formed.
Yeah,
you have
get
to
real.
share all the realness. From separations, divorces, childbirth, to deciding to go out and live your life.
You talked about it all that study.
We sure did.
All of it. You connect real that way, and that's where the relationships are really formed, and where people transition to seeing as a brand, as a human, and you can do this on the bigger brands too, with just owning some of the big stuff, right? And individually on your personal brands. But I think it's okay. You don't have to go all in on share everything, because I am a fan of sharing when you have some wisdom to say, here's what I learned from it, right? But do share all of it, because that's when it's real.
So I go into an office every day and see people, but being an entrepreneur is isolating, I feel and it can be stressful. And I want all you guys to know, whether you work for the company I work for or you guys, we aren't perfect. We don't know all the answers to everything. We ask each other questions. We help support each other. And we want to be here to support you guys too, because we all have questions. We had breakfast this morning. We were all sitting on our laptops trying to figure things out, having to share the video and everything like that. And nobody knows the answers to everything. And even some big brands, we're testing things out. And it can be nerve-wracking, being vulnerable, doing a live video. I honestly don't like how I look on live video, because some people are like...
I don't think there's any one of us love the way we look on video right now.
No, and that was...
No, I could be without makeup. Totally, whatever. But it comes from practice. I am on Instagram stories every day.
But I think that's a good indication. So that's 1 out of 7 women.
Yeah, I mean,
if I had control over that camera right now, I would feel a lot better. But we don't. We have this wide angle, right? Someone said Rose says she's been working by herself for years. Someone else said that she's 50 years old and she doesn't have any tech friends or geek friends. I think this is where you have to take that step out. You have to be vulnerable, and
we all live in different states
and countries. But what we did is we just started a group chat, and that's kind of how our little thing goes on, and maybe it's silent for a couple days, and then all of a sudden something happens. But you know what else has happened that's been really cool is we're hey guys, I'm going live with this person right now, and then we all kind of jump on, and it's not hey, whenever you go live, give me likes. It's a genuine I want to support you.
I'll be your soccer mom.
Yeah, I'll be your soccer mom.
Can we just address how, we often in our little group of queenies will randomly do those lives. We'll jump on Zoom and it's who's available, and we've got our glasses of wine, and then we just chit chat and have our little powerful. We find a way to connect, but we get a lot of people to say, hey, I want to get on the next one, or how do I get in on this? How do I do this? How do you get in on it? Start one. Start one and say 1 o'clock. who's in. That's
That's
all
literally,
it
it's not planned. It's
No, they're
usually
always on the
like
fly.
the same day, hey, who can get together tonight? And sometimes it doesn't work out.
Or sometimes one of us is going through something and we literally like drop it all. Like, husband, I need you to grab the kid.
By sometimes you mean all the time.
Well, I was trying to be kind of nice. Usually when you see our Zoom call, it's because something happened.
I want to say something that came up a while ago. I saw, and it's so important after you see some really loud, dynamic women like us get out here and like share how we are personally shining with our tiaras. But there was a couple people I saw. One woman said something about, I don't have the energy. I have a chronic illness. I don't have the energy to always be on. And I just want it to be really clear that just because we are this way doesn't mean you are this way. Yeah. Being true and authentic and standing out doesn't mean you have to be loud and stand out. It means be you, dude. Like, you know, just what works for you. How can you make it work for where's your comfort zone? And yes, stretch yourself, but you don't have to be like us. That's against the point.
In those situations, you need to plan your world around your abilities. Like if you have a chronic illness and you know you only have so many good hours a week, don't commit to doing 3 live videos a week. Say I can do 1 blog post a week and I can do 1 live video a month, and like figure out what that works for you, and your audience will ingest that content that you give them as you create it. You don't have to feel like you have to do, again, what everyone else is doing. Know your limits, your capabilities, your strengths, and use those to your advantage.
Just be you. Because, like, I mean, I'm one of those people that I want everyone to like me, but not everyone is. And that's
Everyone likes you.
Everyone likes you.
You're like the one amazing. You're on the planet.
We're a little loud,
Can I
right?
say, just on the tail end of just be you, just being you is probably one of the hardest.
Oh, it's it's not easy.
No.
In an
By
online
no
space.
means.
So as
No
much as
means.
it's so simple to just be you,
It takes
guess
practice.
what? It is one of the most terrifying,
It is.
most
Scary.
difficult things, because when you are being your authentic self, it's going to come with the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, when people don't like what you're doing, they don't like you, essentially. And that takes some practice to get through. It really does.
But the benefits, the payoff, it's
Totally.
worth it.
Awesome.
It's so worth it, and it's hard work, but the hard work is worth it.
Yeah, totally.
Well, you guys, thank you so much for joining us for Find Your Tiara, How to Stand Out in a Noisy Social Media World. Hopefully we've given you tons of suggestions. We want to keep hearing from you. Go ahead and follow all of us. Reach out to all of us, because what you see here is what you will see online and in real life. And we truly want to connect. All right, you guys.
Bye, everybody.